how do we make sure that we don't infringe upon another AMSOIL dealer's business? First of all, we have to define what another AMSOIL dealer's business is. And it's whatever he has signed up with AMSOIL. Because an AMSOIL dealer has talked to somebody and they've drank a cup of coffee and shot the bull and looked at a brochure, that's a nice thing to do, but as far as the ethics of AMSOIL, until you get the guy to sign on the dotted line that he's yours, he's just an open customer. So be careful in that, and what I mean by that is I'm 100% guilty of it. There was one place, they've changed and now they no longer carry AMSOIL, but a place used to be called Zalar's Automotive down on Forsyth here in Orlando. I must have drove by that place 50 times going, yep, that's a perfect place to sign up. Yep, call the guy a couple times, yep, that's going to be perfect, right? And next thing you know, there's an AMSOIL sign in the window. And the reason is because, yep, I knew it was a good one to sign up, but since I never stopped, somebody else finally got around to stopping there and signing the guy up. And even if I'd gone in there and talked to him but never actually closed the deal, as soon as somebody closed the deal, so what you need to do is be, as they say, make hay while the sun shines. If you know you've got an opportunity and you got somebody that you've talked to, close the deal and sign them up. Even if they're not going to order right then, it's going to be a couple of months before you can get an order, get the person signed up so that it doesn't fall upon you at a later time that someone else just, because the other person's coming doesn't know you've done all the legwork. They just come walking in and the guy goes, I've been waiting for one of you AMSOIL dealers to come in here. I need to get signed up. Some guy talked to me, but I haven't seen him in weeks, so I need to get going. Oh, where do I sign? So don't be in that situation.
The second thing you do is get a logo in the window so nobody else goes in there infringing on your territory.
Right, you want to put stuff up to make sure that if someone drives down the road, they know that's an AMSOIL account. In other words, you sign them up, give them a 20-inch or a 36-inch logo, get them to put it up. In some cases, give them a sign if they want to display it. Because the reason is, most AMSOIL dealers who have been doing this any amount of time at all know that it's not worth the hassle to mess with an existing account. Sometimes these guys won't tell you. They'll have you on a string and you're trying to get everything set up, and then at the last minute they go, well, I do have this piece of paper from AMSOIL and this other dealer that's dropping off oil to me, but he drives a Ford and I like Chevys and I really didn't want to do any more business with him, so you can take care of me, right? And the answer is, no, I really can't. These are protected accounts. They belong to the dealers. They can be bought and sold. So AMSOIL gives us that account belongs to us.
But protected account after being signed.
After being signed only, right. Because it's only an account once it's signed.
Right.
Prior to that, it's just a prospect. So now, there are times that you'll have really upset businessmen who have legitimate reasons to be upset. They have dealers who don't service the business, they haven't seen them in 2 years, all this kind of stuff. All you can do in a situation like that is give them the AMSOIL number and tell them they have to start a series of actual complaints based on events, not just based on how they feel about things. In other words, that they called for 5 days and could never get their dealer and they need oil. And they've had to call AMSOIL to try to figure out what this is, and they have to log that down. And over when they can't get anybody and they can't get help, and they have to call AMSOIL to keep all this logged down, so that when they tell AMSOIL that I have no service from my dealer, they have something to back it up. Now, that's the way that we want it to be, because if we sign up accounts and somebody's nephew or their brother or their cousin signs up 3 years later, and we've done a lot of work to develop this account by sending people, referring them from our yellow page ads, doing advertisement, literature, training, all this stuff, but all of a sudden Uncle Bob's nephew Johnny signs up as an AMSOIL dealer and comes to Uncle Bob and says, I'd really like your business, Uncle Bob, and you need to take it away from that guy and give it to me. Well, AMSOIL's not going to do that. So we want AMSOIL to be tough about allowing any accounts to be shifted, and the only way that they should ever do that is if there's a legitimate fraud involved. And believe me, that has happened. That has happened. We have had situations where dealers bought the product on the account, on their credit account, and then had the account pay them, and they never paid for the product. Okay, so you see that's a clear case of malfeasance, and in those kind of situations, that kind of stuff results in AMSOIL just going whoop, done, end of account, who wants it.
So once you sign an account, it's a perpetuity account.
It is, as long as it stays active. And what an active account is, they have to buy something within a 1-year period. If they don't buy anything within a year, they go into an inactive status, and then a year after that, they're deleted off of the list.
So, if they wanted to at that point, if they were deleted, could they go to have a dealer come in?
Absolutely. And some people have done that in the past. There have been some situations where an account has said, nope, I just won't buy. And when I'm a free man again, then I'll go where I want to go. So those things happen. That's
2 year on commercial market.
it's 2 years, as long as in that second year they're supposed to be receiving. Remember, the other thing was they were supposed to be receiving the service line or something. But now that that's sent out for free by AMSOIL, I'm not exactly sure how that would work. I mean, everybody would get the service line, so it must go for 2 years automatically.
1 year. They had to go 1 year without ordering.
Right, but they said they would be.
In 1 year and 1 day, if somebody tried to sign them up, they could do it.
Well, maybe that's the way it is now, Lee. Yeah.
You mentioned selling an account.
Yes. Yeah, I'm probably the biggest guy here who has bought accounts. I have bought whole businesses.
I've never been to an AMSOIL meeting,
Right.
and I just became a dealer.
Right, I understand. Accounts that we own, we are registered with AMSOIL as the servicing dealer for an account. Now, some people get in this business for whatever reason is, maybe their health changes, things happen, and they say, well, look, I've got a good account. I have a auto parts store that I've worked with. They buy quite a bit of product, but I'm not going to do this anymore. So I want to sell this account. Well, you can buy the account. However, in AMSOIL, I'll talk in a few minutes about how we're organized as groups and how we make money. And you have to buy things typically within the downline or the upline so that you're not shifting money for people that it's not you. You affect other people upline. So if you sell an account to a guy in a different line, you just took money out of the upline's pocket. So typically AMSOIL gives your upline the option first to buy any account that's for sale. Okay? Now, you don't have to sell it to them if they're not willing to pay the money. They just get the first option to buy it, okay, so that it stays within the line of dealership and everybody's happy. And that's where I've bought businesses myself. I bought my upline business a long time ago. A guy named Steve Kelly, I bought his business, and he was my sponsor. And I bought another guy's business, Lynn Miller, yeah, and Frank Hoffman. So, but you know, but I didn't.
The uplines will hang on to it. I mean, you won't take it and then you couldn't resell or assign it to anybody downline.
You can.
You can.
You can, but still, AMSOIL that has to be approved, because generally speaking, it all has to do with who you're affecting, how their money is affected. And as long as this is staying pretty much, and it gets a little complicated, but it can be done. And so, you know, but as for me, I'm in 2 different lines of business. George Douglas is my sponsor in one, that goes this way, and Orame Boardman's my sponsor in another one going that way. But Orame is also George's sponsor in another one coming down that way. So it's incestuous in a way, you know. But you do what you can. I am my own grandfather in some of this, you know. So
Daryl.
That's right, Daryl, and Daryl.
So when you say buy it, I was thinking more specifically like Uncle Bob wanted to get his nephew's business. Could he buy it from whoever had it? That was.
Yeah, in some cases you can. Listen, it takes the approval usually of the direct jobber. There's not a lot of money in retail and commercial accounts that go upstream to the upstream dealer, but there is some. My policy on that's always been is that when you're in a situation involving relatives and somebody's willing to pay money to buy something and all that kind of stuff, you're just out there spitting in the wind, because they're going to make this thing accomplished if they have to wait 2 years to do it and wait till everything goes inactive. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well figure out in a case like that, what are you going to compensate me? How much am I going to get here for what has been my time and effort? And God bless you and give me what money I can get and have a great life. Because you're just messing with things, and I don't, this is all stuff seems to be negative. It's not. AMSOIL's a very good, well-protected business, but after a time of doing this, you come to realize some kind of things when you get inside of family relations and so forth, and you're trying to stay in between these 2 guys and not let them do what they want. Maybe if they